time of division, opposition, and vitriol, I think all of us can agree on one thing. The Florida State dog poop guy should be forced to partake in all-you-can-eat Golden Corral-style buffet until he realizes that, in fact, his team, much like the poop he's eating, is incredibly shitty. Welcome to the Moonstem Cast. This is the Python to my Everglades. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
Better than at Florida State and everyone there. So I'm living. The Astros, after last week where we talked about how bad the Astros were, L after L after L, I like to think it's our doing because we went to the game on Friday. But they are doing great right now. Alvarez has a 26-game hit streak, I think, with a 381 average over those 26 games. Eric Getty got AL Rookie of the Month, which is the first time since Alvarez. So, and Seattle's, by the way, 6.5 games back, something like that. I think we're kind of back this week. It was Jover last week. We're Barack this week.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that Alvarez was on a 26-game hitting streak. That's incredible. The Seattle Mariners have gotten walked off in back-to-back games by the Oakland Athletics, and on top of that, they are now under 500. We do have 6.5 games for now. Baseball, we can swing either way, but I'm very thankful we're in this division.
Yeah. This division,
completely honest.
This is the NFC South of baseball right now in terms of just nothing's going right for literally anybody, except when we play each other. Someone has to win that game, sadly. So, yes, we're feeling relatively good. I think at some point not too long ago, I stupidly had said maybe we'd take the first spot in the AL. Not as confident in that right now for a variety of reasons. But I do feel more confident in the Astros in general. Also, we saw an Altuve walk-off, which felt great.
I'm going to say something controversial, though, in the realm of this podcast. Thank God for the Rangers.
Yeah.
They've been doing really well against the Yankees, which are first place in the AL, and I believe we're only 4.5 games. No, I think it's 6.5. 6.5 games or something like that out of first place for the AL. If you want to Google that real quickly for me, so I can feel like an idiot when it's like 9. But yeah, thank God for the Rangers. Also, just showing that the Yankees are not that great.
Yeah, no, the Rangers. The thing with the Rangers is, I am happy that when they do well against people I need them to do well against, but overall, eternally, I hope they suffer. Which, in a way, they are doing this season after the quote-unquote, victory last season, quote-unquote, we can forget it. Just like 2020, it didn't happen. But, yeah, no, I'm feeling good about the Astros. Hold the ship steady, fellas. Let's land this thing. Because we have, 24, 23, 22, somewhere in there games left. Maybe less than that, maybe more than that, but we're coming to the end. We're almost there. We're almost in October.
I think if we finish this season 500 for the rest of the games 500, we're gonna win the division. I think. Now this is in before Seattle goes on a 20-game winning streak, but I think we're gonna be okay. I think the division is ours. I do think that AL first place or AL second place, either bye. I think that's kind of out of range now.
Yeah, I wouldn't put money on it right now. Just because, again, the thing with the Astros is we not kill, but we do really well against good teams. And then the moment the team is, the White Sox, we all of a sudden struggle a little bit. So who knows? But bats seem to be doing well. Pitching seems to be doing well. Again, apologies to Kikuchi for everything we ever said. And yeah, I'm feeling good. I don't know. There's not much to say other than I'm feeling good right now. This feels like the final stretch, where you kind of just go, okay, there's really not much to talk about. It's just let the games happen.
Yeah, sit back and watch what happens, and we'll talk about it when it's a little bit closer to playoff time.
Yeah. Speaking of playoff time, kind of in a way, college football, we're back with a 12-team playoff. I, as a UH fan, I watched my team this week, and I said, oh no. Because last week I talked about how they were going to be bad, and then I watched the game and was like, oh no, they are bad. And then it just kept going. It was like, oh no, they are really bad. So I've decided this season is going to be me, much like Professor Crowler and that one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, where he just sneaks around campus and watches people, watching Jorden trying to get him expelled. That's going to be me this season in college football, where I just sit back, watch my team get absolutely murdered, all the plans I want get murdered, and then watch like the Notre Dame's do well as a big Riley Leonard fan now. So that's my diatribe for the week. Where we're not good. We're playing Oklahoma next week, and we're going to get, destroyed. So let's talk about Riley Leonard and the Notre Dame.
Oh God, we can't pass the ball. I'm praying to God it was just like nerves and jitters. My dad was saying that maybe coming from Duke, he wasn't used to maybe how quick his wide receivers are, or their range, so he was underthrowing or trying to adjust the best he could, and he wasn't able to because game speed is different than practice. But my God, that worries me. Now, I believe we play Northern Illinois this week, which should be a absolute get right game. He better have over like 300 yards and a couple touchdown passes. The defense, on the other hand, holy shit. Outside of it being a little bit jumpy at the beginning with having some penalty problems in the first 2 quarters or the first half, they showed up and they looked great. I am in love with this defense. Freeman is a defensive-minded guy. He is showing that his defense is ready to fucking play. But the running game looks good. And one thing I forgot to bring up is, first off, A&M has a probably top 7 to top 5 defensive line, and we don't have either tackles that were projected to be starters this year. In fact, we have a true freshman who I believe is 18 years old starting at left tackle, and boy, did it show. Now, that's going to be okay for the long run because he's only going to get better. He's not going to be playing that good of a defensive line the entire season. And on top of that, it makes me excited for the future. This is what he's doing at 18. Can't wait to see what he's doing at 21.
I think you had said last week that the game was whoever got to 21st, and that was incredibly true. It was a defensive battle the entire time. It was some questionable offense. Weigman or whatever his name is sounds like a grocery store and plays like one too. I'm now a big Riley Leonard fan just because he seems like a nice guy. But yeah, you're right. Maybe Kyle Field against his old coach for a big team, Notre Dame, that's ranked well. Some jitters were in there, whatever. So let's just, I have no stake in this whatsoever because I'm not a Notre Dame fan. But sit back, wait a second, be like, okay, let's get our get back game next week and kind of see what he's thinking. Also, yeah, an 18-year-old on the line against A&M's defense, he was set up to get killed.
Grown men.
I wonder how old. I should probably look this up, but I wonder how old their line is because, as we know, like, people are now just older in college because they stay for a longer time. I wonder if there's legitimately like a 23, 24-year-old on that line going against a guy who literally just left high school.
So to put it into perspective, 4 months ago, our left tackle had to raise his hand to go to the bathroom in class. And now he's expected to block 275 to 300-pound grown men that have been playing college football for 2 to 3 years.
That's incredible. That's a funny perspective. That's an incredible perspective. You're so right. And now again, he's getting destroyed on the line. So it was a fun game. I liked the game. I know there's maybe some complaints about the game.
Fucking stressful.
I enjoyed the game. Again, as an outsider, I just got to watch it and have fun. As college football will be fun for me this season because I'm just going to watch my team get murdered by literally everyone and then be like, oh, let's have fun.
Speaking of a murder, my God, is Georgia not just the fucking best team in the nation, and it's not close.
I wonder if Dabo's spiritual gifts have worn off, and by spiritual gifts I mean money, because that team does not look good at all. But yeah, that was a murder. That was a killing. That was 30. That was 37 points scored, and Clemson scored 3.
It's so ridiculous that okay, real quick, they were playing at a neutral site. It wasn't a neutral site. But still, Georgia just fucking took it to them. Now, Clemson's defense held up for pretty well in the first half, but then the second half adjustments, they just put him in the ground and they did not look back. Clemson does not look good.
Yeah, again, it may just be Georgia, first game of the season, whatever, but right now, it looks like this is going to be a horrible year for Dabo. Let me look it up. Also, just looked it up for fun. Athens is an hour and 25 minutes, an hour and a half or so from Mercedes-Benz. So, neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even have to stay. Didn't have to stay in a hotel even. I don't know if they did, but they didn't even have to, which is the point. So that was a murder. Georgia's probably just going to win this whole thing again. Good for them. Congratulations. Go have a day. Go have a day, Kirby, with your team of criminals at this point, with driving criminals.
Georgia literally shit on them.
Yeah.
And speaking of shit, FSU, Florida State University. Holy cow. We had big fan basically get run off the internet because he said if we lose to Boston College, the Bill O'Brien Boston College team, he was going to eat dog shit. He has since removed everything from the internet. No Twitter, Facebook, nothing. You cannot find this man. I guarantee he's going to make his return at one point, and someone's going to go, "You're the dog shit eater," and he's going to either be like, "I'm not doing it," and just get made fun of and not have a following ever again. Because I don't think it was like a massive account, but it wasn't a small fan account. I think he had a couple thousand followers. He's never going to get that back unless he eats dog shit.
I saw a tweet that made me laugh a lot, which was, imagine losing to Bill O'Brien in the year of our Lord 2024. Because there was a point in my life, in our life, where if you beat Bill O'Brien, it didn't really count as a win because it was just automatic. Also, that guy, whoever the dog shit guy is, apparently Jack Mack from Barstool has like his fiance's Instagram and all that. So I don't know if he can hide for it. This feels like, a Saddam Hussein situation where we're going to find him in a hole somewhere in Iraq, which is exactly where they found him. So, yeah, no, this is not going to go well for this guy. He's going to be found somehow and doxxed, which don't do that. Bad idea. Don't do that. But I feel like it's going to happen. Also, Florida State just looks bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's twice they've had basically all eyes on the nation on them. When they were the first college football Saturday game they were the first college football game in week 0 in Dublin, Ireland. And they lost to Georgia Tech. Then on Labor Day, they're the only action happening, basically across sports. I don't think there's very many night baseball games going on. Hockey not in season, basketball not in season, NFL not playing. So all eyes are on Florida State, and they did not look good.
This feels like 2022 all over again, where for some reason the Broncos were just scheduled for every Thursday night game, and they just were horrible every game. I need to look at Florida State's schedule and see how many times they're in prime time, because this might be that all over again. We're just keep.
Oh, they're going to get moved. They're going to get moved.
I think I saw the joke that Florida's going to be on Tubi now, just because they're both so bad. Speaking of Florida, real quickly, I thought it was the ultimate hater move, but also the greatest move of all time, to beat your rival at their stadium and then walk over to the recruits who were there and just start calling them to your school. Because who would want to go to that school after you just watch them get destroyed? And then you have guys from a clearly better school that people kind of think of as a football school or used to think of as a football school, calling you, say, come to you, Miami. So ultimate hater move there. Great move, though.
And on top of that, I believe that Florida called for a whiteout game. And then Miami showed up in all white uniforms and basically just cut to them out of their whiteout. Fucking hilarious. That was an ass kicking too. Mm. Miami took it to them. Miami's going to be a problem this year.
Mm-hmm. Miami might be up early for hater of the year for football, at least college football, maybe just football in general. But they're up early for hater of the year, and yeah, they look bad. And I don't mean bad, I mean bad. They look like they're going to do some damage to some people. Speaking of doing some damage, Brian Kelly and his legacy, USC LSU. I imagine you're quite happy after that.
Everything went as according to plan. Actually, part of my take put it out really well that they said that the real winners was Notre Dame because Brian Kelly cost the SEC 2 losses. One, because he coached the LSU team and coached them to a loss. And 2, Brian Kelly coaches that Notre Dame game, we lose. Mm-hmm. Oh, we lose. There's no shot. So thank you for leaving, Brian Kelly. It's so nice. When he first left, I was so pissed off and we got to give Freeman a chance. And just the difference in coaching. Because I feel like BK is a little bit of an analytics guy and a safety conservative guy when it comes to his play calling, while Freeman, who is a defensive minded guy, I think has full trust in his OC being like, this is your show. Run it how you want to. And we had a couple fourth down plays. I mostly went our way, but one of them, an egregious call, that it's an impossible play because of forward progress. We didn't make, and that's when I was super pissed. But it turned. I mean, Notre Dame loses this game if Brian Kelly is coaching them.
Quickly, 3 different drives in a row of a fourth down try. One of the cooler things I've seen in a while from college football.
I like it.
Just football in general. Yeah, it was
fucking
it was ballsy.
Fat nuts
moves.
on the table.
Yeah, it was a ballsy move. I mean, it worked out, kind of. It worked out at least. But also, just quickly talking about coaches, Mike Elko, who I called Doug Elko the entire weekend because he just looks like a Doug to me for some reason. Like spiritually, he just feels like a Doug. At the end of the game, where he was yelling his, I think it was OC or someone to run the ball because he was done. He was done with the game. I thought that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. As an A&M hater myself, not a Notre Dame lover, an A&M hater, I was like, this is beautiful. Watching them suffer at the end of the game like that.
The only problem I have with us playing A&M and beating them is I now have to hope that A&M somehow goes 11 in a row, because now I have, like, every time they win, it looks better for us. Because if they're a 6-loss, 7-loss team, that's not great for us that we did, the game looked like that against them. But
are you aware of what quad victories are in college basketball?
No.
Okay, so it's the dumbest stat of all time, and it's kind of what you're talking about. And I need to write a blog about it or something about it. So you have quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, and quad 4 wins or losses, and it kind of helps determine where your seeding is if you're on the edge or whatever. But they move based on how the other team is playing throughout the season. So, like, let's say Notre Dame beats A&M, and so we call that a quad 1 win because A&M's in the top 25. But then this season they go. They lose like 7 games, which they will, but they lose like 7 games. They go like a 5-7. Then they'll move up to like a quad 3 or quad 4, which looks worse, but it doesn't, but you play them at their, like the height of their power, whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's very weird like that. I hate the quad system. It makes no sense to me, but that's kind of what you're talking about. But yeah, speaking, by the way, of A&M's rivals, Texas.
Wow.
Maybe
back.
Are they going to run a 2 QB system, which has never worked in the history of systems? Who knows?
If you don't, if you have 2 QBs, you have no QBs.
Yeah.
But no, I think they'll be all right. I think they just wanted to get they beat their ass so much. I think they just wanted to get Arch in there.
Yeah,
to show him that he's the number 2 and it is going to be the keys to the kingdom next year. Absolutely.
I will say one of the funnier things from the weekend is the Dr. Pepper commercial with Quinn Ewers. I don't know if you saw that. Okay, so it's like they're doing something, and the sheriff from those commercials says, we got to call in backup. And Quinn Ewers gets out the car. He's like, I don't think we have to call in backup. And then, like, they're kind of arguing for a second, and Quinn Ewers goes something like, well, just because he has better hair and is from a better family, maybe faster, I don't think we have to call him backup. And, the joke is he's talking about Arch Manning. But I thought it was good for him. But yeah, no, Arch Manning looked great. But again, like you said, it's probably sit back for another year, learn a little bit. Because Quinn Ewers is a great quarterback.
Phenomenal.
I think there's a UH fan site called Kook Fans that last year during the UT-UH game asked the question, why can't Dana Holgorsen just coach Donovan Smith to be like Quinn Ewers? Someone pointed out, well, Quinn Ewers was a 5-star quarterback and like has just like the football IQ and the athleticism that Donovan Smith just doesn't. So I'm kind of like vaguely a Quinn Ewers fan. I don't know why, but I am. But yeah, that was kind of college football this weekend. Next weekend, we have Michigan, Texas.
That's going to be an awesome game. Mm-hmm. There's not that many great matchups this weekend.
No.
Real quick before we exit college football, I went 5-7-1 for bets. Not the hottest start, but could have been a lot worse.
Close to A&M's record this year. I don't know why I'm going 5-7. That's going to look so bad when they go way better than that. But
before we jump into the NFL, do you want to give me a quick Premier League update?
Yes. Okay. Let me see my notes. I wrote notes for this one. So this is my Liverpool update. Liverpool's 3-0 or 3-0-0. They haven't lost a game. They actually haven't conceded a goal yet, which I didn't even realize until I looked this up because it's just out of my mind. They beat Manchester United, who now looks horrible. Casemiro, you should be ashamed of yourself for playing the game. Casemiro plays on Man United. He was like really good back in the day. He's on Man United now. He was one of the worst like guys to ever watch play the game. They're looking good. Arne Slot he's playing Ryan Gravenbach like actually, which is cool because I like him. Again, you won't know any of these names. He's also using two holding midfielders, which is different than the Klopp system, where he was just like go. So we're kind of having some midfield balance, which is nice. And Hairplug Salah, still killing it. Probably also will leave at the end of the season. Man City is in the lead. I hate it. I hate their entire existence. Brighton doing well. I like Brighton. They also beat Man United, which was funny, but that was early in the season. And this might be Everton's season to finally go down. They've been teetering for like 2 years, almost at the bottom. They're always like 17th or something. I feel like they're in 19th right now. They look horrible. This is year they finally go down. Also, this is not the Premier League. This is the Scottish League. But there are two teams. There's Rangers and Celtic, which are like the two big teams there. And Celtic beat Rangers 3-0. And so there's a great video I love. A Rangers fan standing outside the Rangers tunnel and he's just going, "You're fucking disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're fucking disgusting." And just like yelling at them and like players try to like fight back. It's great. I love soccer for that reason. But that's my Premier League update right now. 3 games in. Obviously, we have 35 to go. So it's a little, just kind of seeing what's going on. Liverpool haven't played anyone substantial yet, which is funny because they played Man United. They haven't played anyone substantial. It's kind of still like in our tune-ups phase. So that's for Premier League. We'll come back next week and see what happens. Also, this is not Premier League. This is Mauricio Pochettino was officially hired after almost not being hired because Chelsea didn't pay him or something. I don't know. The team was picked for the mid-October games. Same shit. It's all European players who don't play. So we'll see what happens. But it was after he was hired, or it was before he was hired. So maybe it wasn't his call. I don't know, but not super happy with that because I just want some MLS players, please, for the love of God, give me one MLS player because Canada does that exact thing. They play MLS players. Jesse Marsh gets them to play well, and they actually win things. So that's my soccer update for the week.
All right, let's transition to the NFL and let's go ahead and finish up the Texans' second half of the season.
Oh, baby, we're so close to the season. I can feel it. Feeling my bones today.
Kickoff is tonight.
Yeah.
When you're listening to this.
Yeah, kickoff is tonight when you're listening to this. All right, Week 10, Lions at Texans. Now, let's set the context for anyone who didn't listen last week. We left off with a loss to the Jets. We kind of just thought probably a loss. I thought it may be a loss before the week as well to the Colts, just possibly after kind of a strong stretch of games. The Vikings aren't good in week. No, we don't know. No, never mind. It's the Packers in week 7. So yeah, stretch of games, maybe 3 losses, maybe 2, maybe 1. So week 10, Lions, Dan Campbell, the boys rolling to town. And I don't know what to think yet.
This game is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That is what I think. Hammer the over. Hammer the over. I'm going to hammer the over. I'm going to be hammered while hammering the over at the game.
You're going to the game?
We're coming off a mini bye, which helps a lot. And then on top of that, I think back at home, we'll be fired up. They'll want to bounce back after a little rough. Now, this is a rough game too, but a little rough stretch there. I think we're going to win this game. I think it's going to be very, very close. 35-33, something like that, something crazy. I think it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you. It's going to be a great offensive game. As a Dan Campbell enjoyer and Lions enjoyer at this point, I do expect fireworks from them. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a high scoring close game with some defense sprinkled in, some strong defense sprinkled in. We'll see what happens. I'll say it's a W for now because I feel it in my bones. The vibes are saying W. That's only because next week we go and play the Cowboys, which I also think is a W because
I agree.
I don't think the Cowboys are very strong this season. They've done nothing in the offseason. They're like, I don't know. They're paying. We've talked about this before. Dak, not the guy he's been proposed to be. I don't believe in Dak. I just have it as one. I think we should also start calling it the I-45 shootout. Just because it feels. I mean, even though NRG is not near I-45, and I think Cowboy Stadium is near 45. It just feels spiritually right.
I don't hate it. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay in this game for sure. I think we get it. I don't think it's going to be handily because I think I don't know. I want to put 28-24 us, but I think it's gonna. If you just look at the scoreboard, it's going to look worse than it is. I really don't believe in the Cowboys this year much.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about that some. Just overall, they're not great this year. Jerry hasn't made any moves whatsoever to improve the team, which he needed to. Week 12, Titans at Texans, which will be a tough battle only because it's an in-division battle, or it's an in-division game. And those are always tough, as we've talked about.
I believe we're home for that game, by the way.
Yeah, Titans at Texans.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I apologize.
So, no. So that's a good way to start off because we have them, then the Jags. So that's a good way to start off the kind of divisional stretch of 2 weeks at home against what probably is probably the least good team in the AFC South, in my opinion, at least. Again, this is saying that Anthony Richardson is still alive at that point. But, yeah, I think this is a...
Anthony Richardson. This is Titans, buddy.
No, I was saying that they're the least good team, but the Colts can fall behind that if Anthony Richardson again dies.
Right. This is another hammer the over game for me. I really think that the Titans offense is going to look really good. It's their defense that is the question mark, and I don't think their defense is going to be particularly great, maybe mid-tier at best. But Will Levis, I really think he's going to take a big step forward this year. Yeah, this is another hammer the over game for me. I really believe in their offense, to be honest. I really believe that Will Levis is going to take a step forward. I believe Calvin Ridley is one of the most talented receivers in the game. DeAndre Hopkins is still DeAndre Hopkins, to a lesser extent, sure, but he still has hands. Those don't just disappear, and he's never been a speedster to begin with. And then Tyler Boyd has also joined the team, so it's a pretty good wide receiver trio. It's their defense that has me questioning, which is why I think it's going to be in a hammer the over game. It's going to be a shootout. I think we win, but it's going to be a fun game.
I would even be as bold to say we win by a score of 2. We win by 2 scores, so by 14 points, maybe 10, 14 points. I think our defense is much better than their offense has to like. In terms of offenses versus defense, I think our defense is closer to their offense than their defense is closer to ours.
How does 35-21 sound?
I can dig that. It will be wrong probably, but I can dig it.
So 9-3.
9-3, which I mean, I'll take happily. I mean, that's at that point, that's looking like division clinching. That maybe looks like number 1 seed. Knock on.
Guess what, Jordan?
What?
Guess what? And then next week we play in Jacksonville, where we fucking dominate.
Yeah.
So it's 10-3, baby.
I'm just gonna call that 10-3 off the bat. I don't even need to go to an analysis.
Yeah, we win in Jacksonville all the time. I don't see us stopping this year.
It's like how the Colts can just win in Houston. We can just win in Jacksonville.
Now we begin the ouch times.
Yeah. Week 15, because week 14, thank you, bye-week gods. Week 15 is a personal hardship for me as a Mike McDaniels lover, to the extent where I mean, your system play every week is just picking the Dolphins for me. I think that, though, the Dolphins' defense is not good enough to stop the Texans' offense. At the same time, I think the Dolphins' offense is so good, they give the Texans trouble. I still think this is a Texans W. I think it's a close W, a very close W, but a W nonetheless.
Yeah, I have us winning as well. So 11-3. I said this is the beginning of the gauntlet. 3 games in 10 days. All against top tier teams, in my opinion, or at least top tier offense and the Dolphins. We're coming off the bye, which is good. So I think that's what's going to push us over to have the win. Plus, we're at home. Hammer the over on this one as well, man. These are going to be 2 high flying offenses. I like it a lot. But I think we walk away. I think we're 11-3 at this point.
Yeah, and it feels good. Which, next week, week 16, we go in and we're just going to lose that. Like, we should resign ourselves to that immediately.
This feels like the annual Texans get decimated by a good team at their house. Defending world champs, Mahomes is a problem. He's going to be a problem for the next 10 years. defending their place as well. Cold. I don't like this. This is I really don't have much to say. I think this is going to be very painful. So I'm going to have us at 11-4 at this point.
Okay. That's actually, I just pulled up your analysis from May. That's exactly what you have this as at that point. You also I want to call you out for this because I'm just excited to see what this looks like. You started the Texans and Chiefs with, I truly think we're going to watch one of the worst Super Bowl hangovers of all time.
Oh no, that's so wrong.
Yeah, no, which I knew you'd disagree with because after talking about the Chiefs, they just get better every year.
I think that was hopeful writing, to be honest. Yeah. I think that was just like, if I write it, it'll happen, right? Like, yeah, put that shit out in the universe, and that's how that works. No, they're gonna fucking go back to the Super Bowl, and it's gonna piss me off.
It's like the reverse Field of Dreams. If you build it, they'll still beat the shit out of you. Yeah, it's the Chiefs. Like, I don't know what to say other than it's the Chiefs. Which next week we then go into the NFL MVP's house.
3 days later. No, they come here.
Oh, never mind. They come here. Thank goodness. At least
because guess who doesn't get to go to that game, even though he has season tickets? This guy. Fiance's mother is hosting Christmas for her family, which they have 3 houses that they do it at, and it rotates. And this one just happened to land here. And me and my future father-in-law were both joking about, hey, we're still figuring out how to go to the game, right? And she did not like that shit. So I don't know. I'm still trying to convince her uncle to, like, hey, me and you will sneak out, right?
Yeah.
But probably not. So I'm kind of okay with not going to that game because I don't think it's going to be great for us.
No, especially, I mean, again, the gauntlet is Dolphins, Chiefs, then Ravens. I imagine after the first 2, you're already dead. Then you have to go play the reigning NFL MVP, who I imagine still going to look great with that that Ravens defense. I mean, yeah, you're
we'll be in Tractorcito season. Derrick Henry's going to have those legs rolling, and it's going to be. Oh, man, we'll give him a better fight than we did in the playoffs. I really think that, but we'll be exhausted. 3 games in 10 days is fucking nuts. And so
if they do that,
and against good teams,
3 games in 10 days in soccer is a gauntlet. Like, just in general, and soccer is, no offense to soccer players, and as someone who loves soccer, you're not as physically destroyed as you are after football. So 3 games in 10 days is destructive. I think theoretically week 18 might be an L, not because of us being bad, but because we say, if this holds, we won the division, we're playing against the division opponent, they're probably not going to catch us because it's the Titans. Let's just put everyone else in. CJ, go home. CJ, don't even come to the stadium. Stay home. Stefan, stay home.
Same wavelength. I'm going to read you exactly what I have for this game. At Titans, completely depends. If we have the division wrapped up, no shot at a higher seed. We rest everyone, take the L. If it's to clinch the division or to get a higher seed, Dub City. So either way, we're 11-6 or we're 12-5.
Yeah. And I mean, at that point, if there's no reason to play, I don't want them to play. I want you rested. I want everyone to take a week off. I don't care if, like, I'll go on the field. I'll go play it down. I'll go play it down.
Hell yeah, I will.
Hell yeah, I will. I'll be able to go tell someone I played it down in the Texans football. I will get my ass kicked by whoever I am up against. Even though if I'm up against
the smallest cornerback will beat the shit out of me.
The smallest corner, yeah. It's again, I bring up this all the time. I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me. The cornerback is like, I'm closer to, I don't know, Darrell Revis than you are to me. So yeah, but if this holds, good season so far.
Yeah, 11-6 or 12-5 is what I have us at, and we're going to talk about it during the season. We're going to adjust. Hey, this is what this team looks like. This is how we match up with them. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm excited for the season. I think we're playoff bound, and hopefully we make a little run at this thing. If we don't go all the way this year, it's going to give us a lot more experience, and we're still going to have CJ for another couple of years under the rookie contract, so we can make some big free agent signings, and we can really, really push this thing in the next 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think this can be a good season for us. Again, after kind of years of pain, it's good to be back. It's good to be back for a second.
Quick rebuild, though, to be honest.
Yeah. Well,
rebuild.
The Texans did the strategy where you just find a guy who is just better than everyone else. You literally found the only quarterback in years to start as a rookie and just kill it. knock on wood, there's another one who might do it this year in Chicago. But yeah, no, I mean, I saw someone say one time, like, why don't the Bears use the Texan strategy of just drafting the good QB? It's like, sure, go ask Carolina about that.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, happy for the season so far. I'm ready for the season, which starts tonight with the Ravens and Chiefs. By the way,
Who do you have?
Chiefs. Like, yeah,
Chiefs.
yeah.
We're just gonna roll down the games. I'm just gonna read off the games, and you just tell me, and then I'll say who I have afterwards. Okay. After that, Friday, Packers Eagles.
Packers.
I got Eagles.
Okay, fun.
Panthers Saints.
Saints.
Vikings Giants.
I put the Vikings.
I got the Vikings. Patriots Bengals.
Bengals.
Steelers Falcons.
Kirk Cousins, baby. Falcons.
Texans Colts.
Texans. The 100%.
Texans.
Yeah.
Cardinals Bills.
I put Cardinals for this one.
Everything in my body wanted to put Cardinals, but I just feel like Josh Allen is going to go nuclear this first game. So I feel like Bills, because it's at Bills as well. So I'm gonna go Bills.
Just quickly to say real quickly, I had the same thought process as you. I'm like, they're going to look really bad or really good, and there's no in between. I'm just going to bet on bad real quickly.
Titans Bears. Jaguars Dolphins.
Baby.
Dolphins. Broncos Seahawks.
I put Seahawks down for this one.
I did too.
Yeah.
Raiders Chargers. Raiders.
Really? Okay. I like it.
Cowboys Browns. Cowboys.
Okay, good.
I feel like this is the perfect setup to a Cowboys season where they come out the gates and win a game, and everyone's like, y'all were talking shit. Y'all said we weren't going to be shit. Look at us, 1-0. It's the perfect start to a Cowboys disappointment season.
Dim boys. And then it's like, oh, by week 5, they're like, oh, we should probably sign someone on the offseason.
Commanders Bucks.
I'm going Bucks here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Commanders actually pull it out. But I'm going Bucks.
That is exactly right. That's exactly what I have. Rams Lions. I have Lions, but it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world if the Rams go in there and do it.
Yeah.
Jets 49ers.
So I wanted to put 49ers, but for some reason, just everything in me said put Jets. The soul read was Jets.
I put 49ers, so I think we have 5 different picks, which is that's a good start.
That's a good
start.
For those of you listening, by the way, I've said that at the end of the season we should do this. At the end of the season, the ultimate ball knower is the one with the most right picks. I didn't tell you, but I want to buy a crown for the person to wear that podcast after the Super Bowl or podcast after the regular season. So
done.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
And if we're tied, we have to go throughout the whole playoffs.
Yeah. Or, well, I was gonna say we go all playoffs, but there's also a point where maybe someone just has won outright already, and playoffs can't bring them back. So
first round of playoffs. We'll do first round of playoffs.
We'll see what happens then. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun week. I'm excited for this week. College football, obviously on a lull this week. Football's back. 49ers Jets, by the way, is gonna be a great game. I'm excited for that game.
Oh, there's a couple good matchups here that I really like. We start off with a bang with Ravens Chiefs. Packers Eagles is fun. Cardinals Bills is fun because we don't know what these teams are gonna be.
Yeah.
Jaguars, Dolphins. If Trevor Lawrence is what everyone supposedly thinks he is, that should be a fun scoring game with 2 quarterbacks throwing it a lot. Raiders Chargers is, I will tell you what this is that me and my brother call it off the podcast. It's not family friendly.
Okay.
And then Rams Lions is going to be awesome, and then Jets 49ers is going to be awesome. We've got a decent amount of good matchups in this first week.
I also have a sneaky feeling that Commanders Buccaneers might be good. A sneaky feeling about this one.
Jane Daniels looks phenomenal.
He looks good. Baker Mayfield looks good. I think both teams can either surprise us or disappoint. It can either be a mid-off, surprising, or incredibly disappointing, which are the only 3 options. But that's kind of what I'm feeling like we're gonna be evenly matched somehow.
Now, for my side of picking things on the NFL. So this is all for record. We're going to keep track throughout the whole season to see how we do. I have decided that I will bet no matter what, no matter how I feel about a game, 1 unit for each one of these, and then at the end I will tell you how much I made or how much I lost.
Okay.
All right. Ravens Chiefs over 46 start of the season. Packers Eagles over 48.5. Cardinals plus 6.5. Panthers Saints under 41.5. Texans Colts over 48. Dolphins minus 3.5. Vikings minus 1.5. Bengals minus 7.5. Steelers Falcons under 41.5. Bears Titans over 44.5. Bears minus 4. Broncos plus 6. Raiders Chargers over 40. Cowboys money line. Commanders Bucks over 44. Rams Lions over 50.5. 49ers minus 4.5. I love overs. Do not take any of this as advice.
Perfect. I mean, again, this is overs are more fun in every way. Just every way.
100%. I hate cheering for unders.
Who doesn't like scoring? Scoring is the most fun part of literally any sport. Like
I 100% agree.
A cool catch every once in a while is like for baseball, or like, a cool defensive tackle. But like overall, scoring is just way cooler in every way. So, all right. Well, that was anything else you want to talk about? Anything other sports we got here? Hurling?
No.
Scottish hurling?
No. I actually think we actually stayed under our time, which I'm impressed. You can find us everywhere on at Moonstamp Sports across all social medias. You can find me at Auric Polaris across all social medias, especially twitch.tv/Auric Polaris.
You're streaming this week, right?
I am streaming on Friday with Neil, and we're playing a game called Orcs Must Die 3.
Okay. That sounded like
a game that we literally just Googled fun co-op games to play with each other. Boom, we picked it.
That sounded like Auric Must Die. So what an interesting setup for a game.
Hey, you just gave me my stream title.
What time?
I put it in parentheses in game though, so TSO doesn't fuck
in
me.
Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
What time? By the way, what time?
Looking at 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30. I am golfing with my dad that day, so I'm going to be exhausted after working golf and then coming home, eating dinner, and then streaming.
Okay, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun night for.
It's gonna be a long day. I'm gonna be exhausted on Saturday.
Oh, I forgot to do this. Whatever. We can skip this. I was going to show the Yu-Gi-Oh card of the week, but who cares?
I'll do it. No, we got time.
All right, cool. This is the coolest one I found. The golden sarcophagus.
Ooh.
It's also shiny. It's not showing through the thing. So.
Well, you could just edit for the clip. You could just edit in because you should combine this with the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
You could just edit in a picture of the card.
Yeah. I will do that. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying this entire time. We appreciate you listening. It's always great for us. So, and like Brian said, keep up with us on socials, all the other blogs out this week, and we'll see what happens.
No, stay beautiful.